have aligned. We have two badass American warriors and two not like that, me and Joe, but whatever. Yeah, so we were going to talk about like mercenary work and black ops shit because it makes me feel like my life's cooler than it is, but it's not. But what I'd rather talk about is the fact that America is seemingly on fire right now. And Dale and Joe, because it doesn't matter what my opinion is on this shit. I mean, because I look at it, I'm like, well, we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't. But I have no experience in the military and I have no education in any of this. But I figured you two gentlemen, both much older than me and with experiences in these things. And I thought fitting on the anniversary of D-Day when we actually fought Nazis versus a bunch of fat social justice warriors with blue hair thinking they're fighting Nazis. What do you guys think about what's going on?
Oh man, Dale, let me start this one because I just saw this on TV and I bought crap myself, man. So I don't watch football. I don't watch any sports, right? I just don't. I know who Drew Brees is. I know his quarterback. And there was a video that they showed on TV. It looked like he recorded it in his kitchen. And he basically said, I don't want to quote Mr. Brees, but basically what he said was, I take offense to these guys kneeling because when I hear the national anthem and see our flag, I think of my grandparents. I think he said his one grandfather served in the Army and the other one served in the Marines. And, he said, I tear up when I hear the national, and Dale and I both do, any veteran does. And what makes me it makes me sad and mad that this guy felt so compelled to apologize for that comment.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's
really, who got so butthurt that a quarterback for the NFL said, my grandparents served and I take offense to guys kneeling. It's staggering that you have to apologize about something like that. And let me say for the record, and look at me right now, I don't care who it pisses off. It pisses me off that people take that platform and not stand for our national anthem, okay? You disrespect every single man, woman that has served and died for this country. And you could ask any veteran. It is not right. You should not do that. And if I own a freaking NFL team, I guarantee it'd be like you're sitting in the locker room.
Yeah.
These guys are making millions of fucking dollars running a football up and down a football field.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't stand for the national anthem?
Yeah, hey man, my 76 years ago today, my rest in peace, lived a long life and served in the FBI for 50 years afterwards. 76 years ago today, 18-year-old my great Uncle Rich, my grandfather's brother, was coming out of those troop carriers with 50 cals buzzing by his head on Omaha Beach. 18 years old. His friends being blown to pieces.
I know.
And then he came back and served in the FBI for 50 years. It literally had a dagger with a swastika on it. I remember when I started, I think my Joe, Udell, when I started working out in like 6th grade, I remember I was in my aunt's basement in New Jersey, and I was doing chin-ups. And he told me, don't do chin-ups. He said, do pull-ups. And I said, why do pull-ups? And he said, because when you have to get away from Nazi tanks, you can't climb up on a wall like this. You have to climb up on a wall like this. And I was like, noted. And that's been that way since. But yeah, man, it happened. What's up?
Go ahead, Dale, far away.
Yeah. The problem I have with all this is it's all based on a lie. Right, so all of it's based on a lie. So so before anybody that's listening, calls me a racist, whatever. Let me give the preamble first, man. So, first of all, I have 3 black children. Okay, biological children from a black mother. All right, 3. I also have a child that's Hispanic and Chinese from a Hispanic woman. That's Chinese also. I have Indonesian children, stepchildren. So I've been married to black women. I've been married to Hispanic women. I'm married to Indonesian women, Asian women, right? So let me just start by saying all that. And I know there's people out there go, oh, that still makes you racist. It doesn't matter, right? I actually had someone accuse me of basically, using minorities to promote my racist agenda. Like, why would I freaking marry a black woman or an Asian woman or a Hispanic woman to promote a racist agenda? I'm not. Look, man. you got to have some screws loose if that's your mission is life. Is let me marry all these minority women so I can promote an agenda off of a false narrative. But anyways, so let me just start by saying that. Do I care? I care about my kids because of how they're viewed. And what really bothers me is when you have white people, okay, particularly these millennials, these social justice warriors, telling my kids that, oh, by the way, you're oppressed and you'll never be able to advance the way you should because of white privilege and all this other bullshit that they've literally made up. Okay, that none of that exists. Okay, I have no white privilege. Nobody's got white privilege here. My dad had an 11th grade education. My mom had a 9th grade education. Everything I got, I freaking work for. But the point of what I'm going to say, though, is this, the narrative. So Black Lives Matter movement. Okay, that in itself is a racist term, okay? Because all lives matter, okay? Fuck you. Black Lives Matter it's bullshit, okay? All lives matter if you want to get technical. But they use the argument Black Lives Matter because because white cops are always killing black cops disproportionately, right? All right, so let me just enlighten you. First of all, more white people are killed by white cops than anybody else. Second of all, they say, well, proportionally more black men are killed. No, actually, proportionally, over 55% of the crime in America is committed by 13% of the population. Black people. Again, 95% of the population, black on black crime is committed between black men 20 to 25 years old. How do I know all this stuff? Because I was a professor I taught psychology of violence at a university. All right, so I did my statistics, I did my math. It's out there. The data's out there. Okay, you can go to the FBI, the UCR. There's a lot of sites out there that lay all the data points out there. But everybody wants to conveniently ignore all that, right? So this whole crap about Colin Kaepernick taking a kneel for justice for black men, and cops is all bullshit because it's based on a total complete lie, right? And so they argue, well, that's the First Amendment right to protest. Well, it is, you have a right to protest. You have a right to do all that, but not when you're on the clock on somebody's running a business, which, by the way, NFL is a business. And how do I know it's a business? Because my son-in-law is black, okay, was a linebacker for the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, okay?
Oh, really?
He's black. Yeah, exactly. He's
I didn't know that.
That's my son-in-law who's married to my daughter, who's half black, half white. All right, he's already told me how the whole thing. It's a business.
Yeah.
So when you're taking a knee during business time and you're not following their SOPs, they want you to stand up. Okay, you have no right to protest. Your First Amendment right goes out the freaking window.
Yeah.
All right, you're on the business clock, man. So and what happened is, people are buying into this narrative, right? And if you're not buying into it, you're guilted. This white guilt thing, you're just a racist, because you're not buying into this, right? And so I happen to know, and I won't give my source of information away because I don't want this person to become scrutinized. But as you know, Joe and I are into the life coaching business as well, and there are people out there that are white people, particularly white women, that are coaches, that are now basically the cancel culture is attacking them, saying, listen, if you as a white woman, even though you're a coach and got nothing to do with any of this, if you're not out supporting BLM, we're going to basically bury your business. We're going to boycott it. So that's the game they play. If you're not on board with our BLM bullshit narrative, then you're a racist, and we're gonna bring the cancel culture after you. And it's the sad truth. You know what? I got skin in this game. Literally, I have skin in this game. Oh, you're not black. You don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, well, I got black family. My children are half black. In fact, I'm deeply immersed in the black culture. All right, just by virtue of the fact I was married to a black woman for 12 years, and I was buried in that culture. I was married previously to another black woman for 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. So I started doing some math. That's 19 years that I was in a black culture. I was married to a Hispanic woman for 5 years. Okay, I'm married to an Asian woman. We've been together for 6 years. All right, so I know what the freak I'm talking about. I don't have to be black to identify with you. In fact, I have skin in the game because my kids are in this game. And I don't want white people out there telling my kids they're oppressed and that they'll never be all they can be because white people are holding back. No, the reason they're not, actually they're very successful. All of them are very successful. Nobody held them back. Okay, didn't have to have any special privileges. Nobody had to boost them up because of their skin color. They did it all on their own. They did it on their individual merits, and they don't make excuses for why they didn't succeed. And by the way, we all fail. We all fail. okay? But my kids fail. Everybody fails, but they don't make excuses and absolve their responsibility and accountability to somebody else. Go, well, it's not my fault. It was their fault because, so stop telling my kids because of skin color that they're oppressed, okay? Stick that shit in your ass. White people, shut the fuck up, all right? Shut the fuck up, especially you social justice warriors. Shut the fuck up, all I can tell you. Black people, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. You know what? The most powerful man in the world was the black President Obama.
Yeah.
Okay, if he can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
All right, I got lots of black friends, man. Lots that are very prominent public figures, very wealthy. If they can do it, you can do it. Stop making excuses.
Yep.
Stop blaming me for my skin color.
Yeah.
Stop telling my kids they can't get ahead because of their skin color. It's all bullshit. Yeah. I got ahead, they got ahead. My dad's got 11th grade education. My mom got a 9th grade education. I came from nothing. And here I am today, killing it.
Yeah.
Why? Because I freaking worked at it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I didn't make excuses.
Yeah. And
Joe, I want to hear what Joe has to say.
Yeah, Joe, my Udell.
Joe, let me add to this conversation. Where did this all start?
Where did this all start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think this whole powder keg started from? Because I'm trying to piece it together myself and I can't.
Man, I don't really know where it started. It seems to have become more and more of an issue the last 10, 15 years. But I think my biggest issue is the word racism and Nazi. You almost lessen the meaning the more you use it, and the more you use it in a manner that's not accurate. Like, you don't have the evidence that somebody's a racist or a Nazi.
Right.
This case in Georgia, down in South Georgia, where there's the man that had recorded the shooting had said that there were racial slurs as they were chasing after the man that was unfortunately killed. Okay, so that's racist. If they can prove on video, okay, that's racist. There's evidence, but I'm a real big proponent of if you're gonna use a word like that.
Right.
I think lessen the meaning of it if there's not evidence behind it. And I think promotes race, like that word has lost its meaning.
People wield it like a sword now. It's
Yeah.
like, look at this racist. And that's what bothers me. And like Dale, I probably have a 50-50 mix of white and black friends. And, I work out with a bunch of, black athletes. And what's so funny, me saying that, I even feel funny. Should I call them black or Afro-American or men of color? Like, my friends don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Like, if you call me a white person, I don't get offended by it.
Yeah.
But it is just so crazy how this is spun out of control. And then when I see organizations like, Antifa out there, and look, again, I agree with Bill. I am 100% behind anybody that wants to protest peacefully.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
That's our God-given right in the Constitution.
Right of assembly.
Cross the bridge when you start burning buildings down, okay, and attacking people. What did Trump get hammered for the other day for saying when the looting starts, the shooting starts? He says that's racist.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? If you don't loot, you won't get shot. I don't know.
Very simple.
Call me crazy. How is that racist?
Yeah,
I don't care if it was all white people out there. If you loot, you get shot.
Yeah, dude.
I don't care if you're blue, green, yellow, pink. Don't.
Yeah. So here's the deal, right? This is the reality of it. This is what people don't get. Okay. First of all, there's another agenda here. Okay, there's an agenda. These riots are being funded, supported, okay, by another organization or other players out there that we're not seeing. We talk about Antifa. Antifa is really, they're the puppet masters, man, and they're inciting these riots. They're out there, throwing shit through the windows and telling everybody else, "Hey, follow me, throw bricks through the window." We've got on video where a white guy is paying money to black guys and tell them, "Hey, there's a bunch of bricks over here. Grab some. Come on, let me show you where they are." I mean, he's inciting this stuff to happen, right? So, and and where's the money coming from? Pretty much it's accepted that the money's coming from Soros, the Clinton Foundation. I will tell you this: the Chinese and the Russian, they're in this game as well. Okay, they're here, they're in this country, and I guarantee you, man, they're stoking the fire just like we would do over there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay? They've got their guys here doing the same thing, right? Enablers.
Don't counterinsurgency, bro.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we're at, right? We're in an insurgency. We're in the incipient stage, getting ready to go into this next stage, guerrilla warfare. In fact, I said it a few days ago on social media. The next thing you can expect is IEDs and ambushes. Guess what? They already had an IED, and they've already had 2 cops get ambushed. We had a cop yesterday in Las Vegas shot in the back of the head. It's starting, right? We're going into this next phase. Now, how far down that road we go depends on how long everybody buys into this idea that, what's going on is based on this shooting of Floyd, and this is still a protest, when it's obviously
been hijacked.
This is more of a riot than a protest, and everybody's lost focus why they even started this. Why? Because we have people in the background, enablers, stoking the fire, telling people, black people, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, be angry, it's all about racism. When in fact there's an agenda. It's an agenda by the left to prop up really to destroy this country. And I do believe they actually want to destroy this country. It's all about power. They would love, the Republican Party, they like to bring down Trump, and everybody goes, oh, it's bullshit. Let me tell you something. You call it bullshit if you want. I've got the world experience. I've been there. I've seen how insurgencies work.
Yeah.
I've seen how counterinsurgencies work.
For anyone that's just listening,
this started out as a protest for a minute, but what it was an opportunity for these guys on the backside, all right, to look. They already had it all played out. The bricks, man. They pre-placed or pre-positioned, baseball bats, crowbars, Molotov cocktails. All right, this stuff was already on the shelf, ready to go. This plan, it just needed a hot button, a trigger. This shooting was the trigger. Okay, and it really, played down hard on that. White cop kills black man, but they left out the part where there was an Asian guy involved, a Hispanic guy, and what looks like to be maybe another black guy, right? They completely cut that piece out of it, right? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. And more so, the data doesn't fit the narrative either, right? More black men have died in these riots than
including a police chief, including a retired black police chief.
Yeah. So. Okay, exactly. So anybody with any logic, that's logical and can think rationally would stop and go, wait a minute, this is not making any damn sense. But no, they feed into it. Why? Because the dumb masses, the Romans, all right, the Senate of the Roman Empire said, hey, bread and circus, give the dumb masses bread and circus, and they'll never pay attention to what's going on in the Senate and in the politics, right? And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what's going on now. We got bread and circus all day long on television. We're watching this circus, right? And bread, right? We're getting stimulus checks. Oh, by the way, just go take free stuff out of all the stores, man. It's bread and circus.
Yeah.
And while they're doing that, the government on the other side, I say the government, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about at the level of Trump. I'm talking about the local state governments, okay? And you look where all these riots and all this crap's happening. It's happening in blue states, blue cities, Democrat-managed cities and states, okay? It's happening there. It's not happening in conservative areas, okay? Tells you something, man. This is being stoked, and actually, it's not being stoked. The politicians just kind of sit back, crossing their arms, and they're watching the bread and circus.
Yeah.
They're watching the bread and circus, and they're furthering their agenda,
Yeah.
And they know the dumb masses don't have the critical thinking skills, nor are they going to take the time to really analyze this and do the real due diligence. They're just going to go with whatever they hear. What?
Yeah.
Let's go break into more stores. Everybody go over here. Let's break in more stores.
And they're playing on emotion, Dale, and everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody is so spun up emotionally, and we all know is mature adults, when you get spun up emotionally, you look at things like this.
Yeah.
You're not doing what Dale says. Like, hold on a second. I'm gonna take off my emotional hat and put on my thinking cap for 1 second. Is this making any sense? Let me just do my own data mining. And do it for yourself. Don't watch CNN. I mean, you watch CNN. I got it on right now. And I watch Fox. Everything's so slanted. You can't even really watch TV anymore. It's so bad. But I don't know what the end state is here. I really don't. I've formed along the way, but I am so confused myself. I don't know where this is going to end. I hope it doesn't end badly for everybody involved, because no one's going to win.
No.
left ain't going to win. The right ain't going to win. No one's going to win. Everybody's going to lose. I don't know. It's scary, man.
I was gonna say, yeah, for anyone listening for the first time, not me and my Joe, but Dale and Joe Teti, they both have experience in this, in special operations, as well as working for a covert group. These, if anyone can speak on this, it's these two, which is why I wanted to. It's the idea that this wouldn't be stoked by a foreign adversary is room temperature IQ, mouth breathing, dipshit insane.
It's a no-brainer, dude.
One plus because one we do it. Because we do it.
What does Sun Tzu say? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. It's all wars based on deception. I mean,
that's it, dude. It goes absolutely dead on. You can count that the Russians are involved in this. You can count. Maybe even North Korea. They are loving these other countries that really don't like us are watching us going, oh my God. All we got to do is add a little bit of money to this fire and they're going to self-destruct.
Yeah, but the thing is like it really did start, I think, as an organic, legitimate movement. Someone is unjustly killed, which they were. And you protest, which is beautiful. Thank God we're allowed to do it.
Yeah,
it's been hijacked, and but it's been hijacked. So now, if you go against it, though, it started as a legitimate, beautiful thing, needed to happen, and then it turned into this violent, destructive, multi-tens of billions of dollars of property and business damage and insurance claims. And now, if you come out and say that's not good, stop doing that, you're instantly, so you're against the protest for George Floyd. And no, I'm against the thing that's happening after it. And it's the idea that this isn't, I mean, in 2015, in the Baltimore riots after the death of a black man, Obama said, you are undermining your own communities. When you are burning businesses, you are not marching for civil rights, you are committing arson. When you are looting, you're not pushing your agenda, you're committing theft. These are very simple felonies, and you're undermining your own community. But fuck that. That's 5 years ago. That's gone forever. Doesn't matter that the black president said that. Right. Fuck you. This is Trump's fault.
The dumb masses. You know what? And here's the thing. The media knows, politicians know that people's memory is like that short. Okay? They can't remember 2 weeks ago what happened, let alone 5 years ago. Yeah. Okay? Is anybody talking about this virus? No. That shit's out the window. Gone. The virus,
just gone.
It's cured, man.
Gone.
It's cured, right? Because they know. And here's what's going to happen. Mark my words, okay? If this whole rioting thing calms down and everything gets back to normal, which I think it can, because here's what's happening also. People are getting woke. A lot of black people are going, wait a minute. Why is this freaking white boy here throwing bricks through the window saying he's supporting me and smashing shit up, right? When we're supposed to be protesting, not rioting.
And why is a white Jewish man running BLM?
Yeah, so woke,
right? Anybody home?
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna start getting woke and go, whoa, stop the madness, right? And that's not gonna work out well for the left side, the Democrats, right? Because they need this to keep going, but it's probably not gonna go. And if it does continue, then it's gonna go beyond November after the election. Either way, November is, if Trump gets elected, which I think he will, either way, and if he doesn't, either way, shit's gonna hit the fan. It's game on, man. But they're gonna do their best to keep this thing, going until at least the election. So if these riots and all this protesting goes away and everything's back to some normalcy, I goddamn guarantee you, all right, the second wave of COVID virus is coming.
And it's Trump's fault.
I'm telling you right now,
it's Trump's fault.
It's in the queue.
Yeah, they literally.
The virus.
Yeah, they got it lined up. What do these fuckers want next? It's literally your DJ.
Hey, say this for the record too, guys. The death of Mr. Floyd, tragic. I don't care, white, black, green, purple, doesn't matter. Do I think those cops killed him on purpose? No, I do not. I mean, there was somebody videoing it right in front of the guy's face. You're telling me you're a law enforcement guy. There's a person saying, and you're going to murder somebody on camera? Don't think so. Highly egregious? Yes. Excessive use of force? Yes. Do I think the guy killed him on purpose? No, I do not. Should they pay for what they did? Yes. I'm not a judge. I'm not an attorney. I'm not gonna even talk about that. But do I think the guy was killed on purpose? No. Then somebody said, I saw it on TV, that they knew each other in a club or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Like the police officer knew Mr. Floyd working in a club or something.
They worked like security together. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's it. What does that have to do with anything? And if he did know him, maybe they were even I don't know. But the guy, there's no way that this man was killed on purpose. It was terrible and it was tragic, and it shouldn't have happened. With that said, there is something that kind of shows the way that the temperature of this country. So I'm all about people helping people. But this is kind of like where I have a hard time. There are great veterans groups out there that are nonprofits that are trying to raise money. Does anybody have an idea how much, I believe it's Mrs. Floyd, has raised on GoFundMe for the death of her husband?
Mm-mm. No.
$13 million.
Jesus. Hey, hustle, I go get it.
13. If you don't believe me, go check.
I believe you.
I'm not faulting her for trying to raise money for her family. Let me say that again. Read my lips. I'm not faulting her for raising money for her family. But it's the most money ever raised on GoFundMe. I guess my question to you is this: how many veterans that have died and their families have died fighting for our country went on GoFundMe and raised $13 million for their husband?
Nothing, because you're evil white men.
Zero.
You're evil white men. It's
zero.
But that's the thing, is I can tell you what the first feedback is going to be from this video immediately. Oh, look, a bunch of white guys discussing these problems. That's racism. That's racism right there.
And look, guys, we all know we're going to get beat up for this, but I will not.
You two aren't.
Sit back idly and just sit here. I am not a sheeple.
Yeah,
I'm not racist. Like I said, I say 50% of my friends that I know and I work out with are Afro-American, black, whatever you want to call them, right?
Yeah.
They don't care.
No,
they don't
care. Give a fuck.
And they're friends of mine. If they called me right now, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be there, brother. I'm not one of those people. What I'm worried about is my freaking country.
Yeah.
And the sacrifices that have been made by guys like Dale and other guys out there giving their lives for this country, and it's just unraveling. It is just unraveling, and I don't know.
And here we go again, right? Cognitive dissonance. The facts are right there in everybody's face. The facts are in the face, and you're right. They're going to call us a bunch of racists because we're having a conversation, and it doesn't fit the narrative. But the facts are right there. Look at the statistics. Everything I laid out earlier is fact. Everything, the numbers, they don't freaking lie. Here's another thing you could argue. Okay, you've got protesters out there, and then you've got rioters out there. They're intermixed. Why are the protesters not turning on the rioters, going, "Hey, stop! You're killing our cause, and it's not right." Why are they not standing up to them?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
they're letting them go. So in a lot of ways, man, they're culpable.
It's what
protesters are culpable there by allowing it. Because look, they're using the same narrative on us, right? They're saying, well, if you're a white guy, you're just standing by and not fighting against racism, then you must be a racist. Well, I'm going to say the same thing. If you're a protester and watching people rioting, throwing bricks through the window while you're protesting next to you, then you're a rioter.
Yeah.
Okay, you're aiding and abetting. They did the same thing with the cops, right? The Asian cop is standing there, and you didn't do anything to stop the other cop from killing the white guy, so you're culpable. You're a murderer too. You see, it goes both ways, right? And here we are again.
Yeah.
So you can't have it both ways. You're either all in or all out.
It's
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, what do they say? If you have 100 cops, one bad cop, 99 good cops, and none of them do anything about the bad cops, you have 100 bad cops. Okay. Yeah. If you have 100,000 peaceful protesters and you got one of them breaking shit and the other don't do anything, you're all bad. Well, it doesn't work that way. Well, fuck off. Yeah, it does.
What about, I heard on the news too that I guess some of these states are going to start cutting funding to their law
for the police. Yeah, it's already started.
Yeah, that works out.
It's already
funded. I know guys that have to buy their own training ammo.
Yeah, it's, you know what? I say let it happen, man. I say let it happen and let everyone watch. Joe, Udell, what do you think about this? We've been boxing Joe out. I'm sorry, Joe. We've been all screaming. Joe's just sitting there in the corner like, hey guys.
You're Joe. My Joe, you're Joe.
Yeah, my Joe.
I think the most frustrating part for me is it's almost just like the people's opinions. Like two things can be true at once. Like to piggyback off of what Dale and Tommy were saying, if you see an abuse of force or a police officer overstepping the lines, you can speak out against that, but you can also speak out against protesters destroying private property, interrupting business operations. In my community here in Atlanta, we had really bad protests, and those two things can be true. You can support police officers that had bricks thrown at them, but then you can also support communities that have communities, but individuals that have been affected by police brutality. These two things can be true, and it's almost like you're not able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You're
labeled.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't right now. Like Dale was saying.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever side you pick, you're going to be wrong. The other side's going to hammer the other side, and the other side.
Man, and it's I mean, it's seriously, one bunch of white guys on this podcast, so we're going to be discredited. If Joe Ted, I had to say, I have black friends. The instant, so you have to say you have black friends? Well, no, it is now you have to say that because otherwise you're some fucking Nazi.
I need to disclaim the fact that, I don't run with freaking, I've got black friends.
Yeah, should I disclaim that my dad looked up our ancestors earlier this year and found out that, oh my God, on my father's side, I have two great Kerrigans served in the Union fucking Army. Like, should I disclaim that? Should I write that there? It's so bad. But the thing is I think actually the DJ, Akira the Don, who I've had on here before, he said yesterday in a live stream, because he lives in LA, and he's like, he's got what?
Who's this?
Akira the Don. He makes music called Meaning Wave. He puts like Jocko or Joe Rogan over music. It's awesome. I'm trying to get him to make Comstock Wave, but But he was like, he's in his English. He's like, it kind of makes me think of like ancient Egypt, where you had to put the sheep's blood over your doorway, and that way the spirits wouldn't come in and kill your kids. He goes, right now, I'm telling you, in my neighborhood, if you don't put up Black Lives Matter in your window will be shattered. He goes, you're not putting up the blood, you're not making the sacrifice. And it's just like, I thought about that last night. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. And he goes, and most of my neighbors, they're not racist at all, but they're just going, I don't want my windows broken. Like, I just leave me the fuck out of this. I've been inside for 90 days. It's, and not only that, I make those 2 points. The other one I wanted to make is, I think that they are trying to provoke a strong response from Trump. It's kind of like the idea of like, pick up the gun. Pick up the gun. He picked it up. You shoot him. You saw him. He had a gun.
They kind of teased him already, and he made the comment about Antifa should be labeled as a terrorist organization.
Oh no, they did label him as a terrorist organization.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, straight up.
Because federally, somewhere like you can't because of the First Amendment.
Nope.
Blah blah blah. All that.
It's definitely heating up. I mean, Twitter is now is blocking some of Trump's tweets. Snapchat just took Trump off like the public stores, which even as a conservative and a right-wing person, I do say that those are private companies. They are allowed to do that.
Yes, they are.
That being said, I don't agree with it, but you are absolutely allowed to censor. Yes, but you are also free to shoot yourself in the foot and let other companies pop up and
I actually also these social media platforms. Okay, that's all they're supposed to be, is platforms for free speech. And when they get into the business of censoring,
publisher.
Okay, and now they're getting into in the realm of journalism. Right. So they fall under different laws and regulations.
They're classified as publishers as opposed to platforms.
That's why Twitter's kind of in this weird place right now because of what they're doing. And Facebook, at least Zuckerberg's smart enough to go, you know what, I'm going to go down that road because otherwise, if he does, now he's going to fall under different regulatory, requirements, things like that, and he could set himself up for all kinds of lawsuits, right? But
he's already stood in front of Congress.
Yeah.
So it comes down to this: there's a left-wing agenda out there, and it's perpetuated by really, again, I'm going to say the dumb masses. And people go, well, these are some really smart people. They're still the dumb masses. I don't care what kind of education you have. You're an idiot. Okay, most of them people out there, when you look at professors at universities, okay, what are they? They're just a professor. They spent their whole life in academia. They have no real world experience. And they're spouting off and brainwashing our kids on shit they don't really even know.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I wanted to say earlier was, there's two laws that we live by. One is man's law, right? And the other one is what I call natural law. So going back to that video of the cop, subduing Floyd and everybody's standing there filming, going, "Oh my God, you're killing him! You're killing him! Oh my God, you're killing him! Stop it!" Right? Okay. So here's my question on that. But actually, not even a question; it's an assertion. So everybody's afraid. Everybody comes. Well, if you would have stepped in, the cops would have shot you. The cops would have done this or would have done that. Then you would have brought harm to yourself. Yeah, there you go. This is what I'm talking about. Selfish, immoral people. Right? Okay. The natural law says this: if you see something wrong, you are to do the morally right thing, the ethical thing. The morally right thing would have been: you see a man getting killed unjustly, and you feel so strongly that he's being killed unjustly. What are you supposed to do? Keep filming for what, posterity, or get your ass in there and help that guy, even at risk of you losing your life? Look, there's 2 cops or 4 cops there. How many people are standing around there? They could have easily overwhelmed. They could have stepped in, at least pushed the guy off the guy and give him a chance to start breathing again. They didn't do anything. They stood there going, "But I'm not trained, and they would have hurt me." You freaking cowards!
Yeah.
You helped let that man die. You didn't interfere. Well, I don't have your kind of training. You don't need training.
No,
you don't need training. If it was your child, think about it, if it was your child. What would you do? Stand there and film, or would you get in there? Of course you'd get in there. I would hope.
Yeah.
So there's morals law, there's man's law, and then there's natural law. I follow natural law. When I see man's law is wrong, okay, then I always fall back to natural law. That is doing the morally and ethically right thing. I don't care what the consequences are. You know what? At least I know I did the right thing. I'm going to go down doing what I believe in.
Yeah, it's when.
So that's the problem with society.
That's a very good point, Dale.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, very good. I'm just saying, that's a very good point. How many people were standing around watching this while that guy was being, abused and killed? I bet you there was a dozen people watching.
Yeah, it's
with their thumb all the way up their butt watching.
Yeah,
that whole thing they could have saved that man if they didn't do anything but run over there and tackle that cop and he rolled off of him. That might have been enough to allow that man to breathe again. And that probably would have changed the whole dynamic of that arrest.
Yes.
And that guy would have been saved. Yeah, it might have been a melee there for a minute, and there were a bunch of people in handcuffs, but at least he would still be alive. Yeah, everybody's going to go to jail, whatever. So what? You did the right thing. Yeah. You know what? And let it sort itself out in the courtroom. And maybe you don't get away with, maybe you end up in jail after all. But at least you know what? You can sleep good at night.
Yeah.
You can sleep good at night.
Yeah, it's
So I always tell people it's context, right? When you sit there and tell me, because that's always a fallback. Well, I'm not trained. They have guns and they might shoot me. Yeah. What if it was your 5-year-old boy or daughter in that same situation? Would you stand there and film it and say, "Hey, you're hurting him"? Or would you get your ass in there and get it on?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you'd get it on. Why? So you telling me that man's life wasn't valuable enough for you to do that? If you're going to tell me all lives matter, get your freaking ass in there.
Yeah, it's man, and it's again, and even in the wake of that, it's that black police chief killed defending a pawn shop, and that black federal agent killed several days ago, who I've seen people say he's not really black because he's half black. At fucking what point is this now becoming racism?
Are you kidding me, Tom?
Yeah. No.
Hey,
no.
So Tom, with that said, right?
So that's going to be now half black lives matter.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to make that distinction, then why are you allowing white people to protest on your behalf? Well, they're not black.
No. I actually saw a post about that the other day, and it said, remember, if you are white and you are joining these protests, just remember, you're a guest.
A guest.
It said you're a guest, and I saw someone say a guest to.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I saw someone say a guest to what, and the response, someone said, I think like Airbnb guest, and someone said no, you're a guest to their pain and suffering. Oh, Okay, let me just blow my brains out right now. Yeah, man,
it's psychological warfare. All this is psychological warfare, man.
It is. And
you know what? And we're dealing with the dumb masses again, and they're pulling us down to their level, and we're allowing it. We're allowing it when they tell white women on the street, get on your knees and beg for forgiveness for your white privilege. That's when you've lost, man.
Yeah.
You have lost the psychological war.
Yeah.
Right? When you have cops and soldiers on their knees marching in unison, you violated your oath, first of all, because you're supposed to remain neutral. You're a law enforcement officer. Right. You're a soldier. Okay, you have no right to involve yourself in any kind of a protest, right? They've lost it psychologically. They have lost the war, and we're in big trouble, man. I sit here and I look on social media and I see guys in the military, veterans, special forces guys. I support Black Lives Matter. I'm all. It's like, dude, have you not done the research? Have you not really looked behind the curtains and realized that you're supporting a fucking lie?
Yeah.
You know, and what's going to happen is if this goes to guns, which I do believe it's going to, guess what? It's no longer going to be the right against the left. It's going to be brother on brother.
Yeah.
I got a feeling I'm going to be shooting other Green Berets.
Yeah.
This whole thing.
Jesus Christ. I just fucking hope not, man. What did that Marine, that famous Marine, I don't know, the general command, what did he say? He goes, I like the Marine Corps' take on skin color. He goes, I care not if you're black or you're white. We hate you and think you're equally worthless. And I was like, that's what we need, man. What did the FBI hostage rescue team veteran say about, back to what you were saying, it was kind of out of topic, I wrote it down, about bread and circus? Christopher Whitcomb said in one of his books, said the pyramids were built with the bullwhip and rice soup. Rome died in the baths. But that's kind of what it feels like. It's 76 years ago, storming Omaha Beach, and nowadays you got a bunch of on the verge of diabetic, fake-haired, fat women just screaming that you're a racist, you're a Nazi, KKK. And here I am, just like, waking up with like a chubby, just like, man, what? I'm just trying to deal with my morning wood, and now I'm a racist. Like, I'm sorry, like it's, I don't know, man. It seems like it's going downhill, but
just for the record too, I'm going to put this out there. I wasn't going to, but I am. I'm not going to mention the name of the organizations, but I personally, because of being on TV and the amount of people I have on my Facebook page, I have personally been contacted in the last 5 days by 3 different organizations wanting me to endorse their program. And I'm not doing it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not doing it.
Jesus.
I will not do it. It is wrong. It's morally wrong. It's ethically wrong. I'm not doing it. It is not the way I operate. I don't care if somebody say, Joe, here's $1 million check. Do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's
it's just I wasn't raised that way. I grew up. As a matter of fact, I grew up in a predominantly black, like literally Braddock. I'm from Turtle Creek. Check out the map, guys. I'm from Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Right down the road is Braddock. It was predominantly Afro-American people. I interfaced constantly growing up with friends of my friends of mine. And so I am not going down that road, guys. I think once you go down this road, there's no going back.
Yeah.
You can't be a little bit pregnant. You just can't. You're either freaking done or you're not done. I am not doing this. Can't be a little bit pregnant. Okay?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can't. Man, well, fuck, what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. God damn it.
You're getting all wound up.
Yeah, I'm getting all excited. I don't know, man. It definitely seems like, and by the way, when we say that this is a leftist thing, that doesn't mean just Bob liberal who votes Democrat. This isn't at you. I think there are nefarious greater powers at B. This isn't against every person. Yeah,
of course he's right.
Because we do this. I know my Joe's got to go in a minute, so we'll wrap this up. But I was going to say, When was the War of the World scare? Do you guys remember that? Was it the 30s?
Yeah, that was back in the 40s or 50s.
Where Orson Welles read the invasion of the
radio.
And that was actually a huge thing with the at the time is the Department of War, back before we were pussies and changed it to defense. But the Department of War said we can't let that happen again, because the phone lines were swamped, everything was swamped, and it caused such a mass disarray that if that was a Soviet operation, they could have invaded, and we were so busy with ourselves. Exactly. What makes you think that this isn't the same thing? Get everyone riled up. Well, shit, man, that's how you can't go in dry with no lube. You got to have foreplay. Right now, this is some foreign foreplay.
And let me tell you, if you don't think ISIS and these terrorist organizations are waiting, like, oh my God, these guys are self-destructing from the inside, this is a perfect opportunity for these assholes to come over here and do. Dale, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's a great test run.
Oh, exactly. They can do penetration tests right now.
Yeah.
See how deep they can get into a city with a package.
Yeah.
Even if it ain't even real. Okay, let's see if we can get guys into these buildings. It's perfect because everybody is so fucking consumed with this other shit. Somebody could walk by them with a nuke and not even see it.
Yeah, it's 10:45. I know my Joe has to go to work.
Yeah, let me say one thing.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe.
I have a background. I have a degree in criminal justice, and one of the first things that they taught in school, and one of the first things I know they teach at the police academy is your responsibility as a police officer is to protect the innocent fellow officers, and then protect the criminal. And so they protected, there was supposedly a forgery going on, so that's a crime. They intervened with George Floyd, so they protect the public from harm to like our currency and financial system. And then they protected officers by officer safety, restraining him, searching him. So now he's restrained. But all those officers that stood there, including the one with his knee on his neck, now owe it to protect the criminal. They're there to protect the civilians and public safety. They're not the executioner. They're not that. That's what our court system's for. They are there to go down the list of innocent fellow police officers, then protect the criminal. And they failed to do the last step of that. He was trained. It was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
So Joe, all right. So I used to go to criminal justice as well. So what is the first and most important trait a police officer should possess?
Integrity.
Well, actually, it's discretion. So integrity is important, right? But discretion, right? So in that scenario, the guy wasn't bound. Look, procedurally, he could have said, you know what? Let me get off this guy's knee or neck. Let me roll him over. Let me just pick him up. Hell, maybe I don't even need to, really cuff him. He's being compliant. There's things officers can do called discretion. And he had that discretion. I'm not going to defend him, but I agree with Joe. I don't think he intentionally meant to murder the guy. I really don't. I think he lost his way and didn't realize what he was doing and how far he was taking this. And I think also the issue was he was reluctant to back off and use that discretion because he's under the camera. And it's like, I got to show that I'm doing my job and be professional and not be in any way goaded by these hecklers or these spectators. He was trying to assert himself as, I'm doing my job. I know what I'm doing, but he really didn't he didn't use discretion and go, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I am choking this guy out and let me roll him over. So that was a big mistake. And, how that all ended up, and why it ended up there, that's another story. But what happened at the end was, I don't think it was premeditated, even though now they're saying it's premeditated because he had enough time to think about it while he was choking him out. And he decided to continue on. I don't think his intent was to kill the guy. That's what I think. And so I don't think it's first degree murder. I actually think it's probably a manslaughter charge. I don't think it's, maybe second degree murder, maybe.
They just upped it to second degree murder, which I think is going to be problematic because it's going to be hard to prove that it was premeditated and he could be acquitted.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, that'll throw some riots. Jesus fuck. I mean, and just for the I know, Joe, we're keeping you. I know we gotta let you go.
Sorry.
But
I got that out, guys.
Yeah. All right, Joe.
Thanks,
All
Joe.
right, fellas.
Peace. Yeah. I mean, and just for the record, before this podcast ends and people jump on it for a bunch of white guys, there's nothing good about that guy dying. There's nothing. Don't think that this is he did. No, dude, he's a guy that died, that had brothers and sisters and parents. He was someone's friend growing up. He had an inside joke with a person at a store. He's you and me. That's not good, and there does need to be reform. And and that's what I mean by like what Joe said earlier. You can believe multiple things. The riots are bad. There does need to be reform. That wasn't good. This isn't. We're not a third world country. You can't kill people in the streets, premeditated or not. That can't happen because tomorrow it could be my son or
That's right.
or it could be me. Yeah, it's
That's right.
yeah. If I ever die from police violence, I don't want you guys to riot. All right, just throw a party. So be like, that dipshit's gone. He's all right, guys. Well,
Thanks, Tom.
Tier 1 performance coaching. Didn't get to really plug that at the end. I know Joe had to go, but fuck yeah, man. And Teti, you keep having fun today. And Dale, I'll see you. And let's as always, let's do another one, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.
Appreciate it, brother.
Take care.
You guys take care.
Peace.
Bye-bye.